G'day comrades, it is Russtymango here, and welcome to my new segment known as Mango Presents, where I pretty much grab a game, have a look at it, and tell you what it's all about. So, obviously, what I was looking at a couple of weeks ago with my update series, this is Loadout, a third-person multiplayer shooter, and it is fantastic. So, today I'll quickly talk to you about what kind of game this is, what kind of things this game brings to the table, and how it makes it unique. So first of all, the art style. Now this art style pretty much takes a bit of a Team Fortress 2 over look, not looking very realistic, and more of a cartoony look. You can actually customize your own character in this game with different kind of shirts, pants, whatever, and it's just a bit more customization for your avatar. You actually have a Caucasian male or a black male, doesn't really matter. If I never look at that. Hello Jerry, look at that kind of shit. But yeah, so this is kind of a bit more customization. But this game is not really about the characters, more it is about the don't look at them, a little more about the weapons themselves. So you can see here I've got my own little weapon classes here, got 6 of them already made in total. I named them all after Trent, it's an inside joke. But let's just create one here known as Test 1. Right, and let's show you all about. So here we are, we've got 4 types of sashes, right? So this whole game is all about creating your own weapon and then seeing it in action. And I think it's a very good kind of way to play, giving the user the control to build and play their own weapon is a very good thing. Right, so you got your rifle, launcher, pulse, and a beam, all having different characteristics and qualities and positive and negatives to them, and they all bring different things to the table. So let's have a look at rifle. Right, now your rifle is just a normal stock standard thing, nothing too flash, just shoots out bullets and does a decent amount of damage. And there's different customization: your stock, scope, barrel, trigger, magazine, and your payload, which I'll talk about a bit later. But then you've got launchers. Now your launchers tend to go for more of a damage and area effect, so they usually do more damage per shot, and usually do a lot more damage, but you start from a long reload time, so every time you fire you've got to be careful how long it takes to reload. Different to a rifle where you reload pretty fast and you keep firing, but you don't do as much damage. And then you've got pulse, which is kind of a cross between fire rifle and launcher. Here's a pretty good AoE, and I'll just show you now. If you shoot a bullet, you'll notice how, they're kind of just cannonballs. So, you see there's got a bit of AoE, but it has also got a good amount of damage, but it does suffer in accuracy, so you do lose that. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'll go back to that. And then, as I was about to show you, now you've also got beam. Oh, I went straight to it, how clever. And now beam is kind of different from the other 3, where it's pretty much just, as you probably already guessed, just a beam. Decent amount of damage, but instead of having a reload, you have a cooldown time. So it's a bit different gameplay and more of a sniper weapon. It's also very accurate, but it only thing suffers is a bit of damage. It doesn't do much damage, and people can take you out faster than they can with a rifle than they can with a beam. But this one, which is a default one, which is just pre-made for me, is pretty average. You can actually randomize your weapons, so they'd come out randomly every time. So if you can't really think of anything, you can always do this. So let's have a look at payload. Now you've got 5 types of payload. You've got your slug, Tesla, pyro, health, and the juice. Now slug does more alpha damage. It do more damage on the shot than any other type, meaning that it does good. It's pretty reliable, right? Its reload's the same, and it has a pretty good rate of fire. It's not really affected. But slug is just your stock standard, pretty average, reliable horse. Now the difference between that is your Tesla. Your Tesla has a bit of a faster kind of velocity for the shell types, less damage but has more area of effect. So you'll hit someone and then they might chain lightning, or you've got a better chance of hitting the person. Now pyro on the other hand has more damage over time. You'll shoot someone and then they'll lose health gradually over time. So I'll quickly show you an example of these 3. So same gun, as you can see, doing a decent amount of damage to that guy. I love how the blood just goes everywhere. We'll go to Tesla, just wait for that guy to respawn and then shoot him, and you'll notice, well, it usually doesn't. Yeah, so you see how that chain lightning's hitting the other guy next to him, so you've got a bit of area of effect. And then you've got pyro. Now I have to shoot this guy maybe 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and look, he'll just keep losing health for a while, then I have to shoot him again. So, this is more for the players who aren't that accurate and just want to have something that always does damage. And fire can be quite annoying, and I'll shoot this guy a couple of times. He's already charged to a crisp. Not much alpha damage, but the fire usually finishes them off. And then you've got health, right? And health is completely different. Health gives people health. Now, it does it to allies, not to enemies, but you can see how that works. And the juice is kind of like it's hard to explain. It's kind of like a steroid thing. It increases your rate of, increases how fast that person will reload, how fast they'll run, and all that stuff. So that's all the difference. And you can use them in all these kinds of weapon types, which makes it interesting, and how the game's played, right? And so let's have a look at the combat now. Oh, before I do it, let's have a look at the loadouts. Now, this is how the game is called Loadout, so let's have a look at the loadouts. So you can choose what loadouts of what the guns you've made. Usually only 2 weapons, and you have an equipment, which is a grenade, health kit, jump boots, and whatever. There's a whole wide variety of things you can put in your weapons equipment pack. Most people just use your health kit because in this game you don't have much health, so you just normally pick up a health kit and you recharge all your health. Right, so let's have a quick look at the game. There's about 4 game modes in this game at the moment. I'll just go for a normal rocket class, and my model hasn't loaded. There he goes. Game's a little bit buggy because it is still a beta. Oh, there's someone right there. Right. And I should kill this guy. There he goes. He got burned to death. Oh. Well, that's interesting. I haven't changed my health kit for a while. But yeah, so you've got 4 game modes. You've got it's this thing called Deathmatch. I don't think we're playing Deathmatch. No, we're playing King of the Hill at the moment. But Deathmatch is pretty much just a different version of Kill Confirmed. And then you've also got this game, which is King of the Hill, which you've got to capture points for the teammates, and those points go towards the collective score. You've also got the collector game type. I don't know what the full name's called, but essentially what you do in that game mode is you collect this resource called plutonium, and then add that plutonium to a resource bucket, and you get points for it. So a bit of a different version of King of the Hill, because you've got to collect resource instead of just collecting points, right? And then the 4th game mode is capture the kind of hammer thing, and you can use the hammer to whack people with, so it's pretty cool. So there's also that. So there's a bit of a wide variety of game modes, and the maps is about, I don't know, 9 or 10 maps, and so it's still in a beta, but they're pretty good maps, and it makes the game really good. The main thing about this game, I have to mention, would be the teamwork. The teamwork really matters in this game. If you've got 2 people versus that one person is probably going to die. So, you've really got to work together and stay as a team to effectively win games. Like this one, team seems to be quite scattered, and we're losing pretty badly. Well, if you look over there, there's all 3 of them. They're just holding together as a team. I'll try and join this guy to help him out, and we're doing a bit better. Well, you hope so. You can also whack in this game. There you go, just whack that guy to death. And look, me and this guy came out victorious because we worked together. So you can see teamwork matters a lot in this game. Oh, that's close. Yeah, and you also got hit marker as well. It's kind of just another thing in this game. And I burned that guy to death. That was pretty funny. So yeah, so the game really relies on team play a lot, and usually the guys who work together in a team are the ones that usually win. Talking about, I think that's pretty much all I can really need to say about this game. I know it's committed suicide. With the over gory stuff and the kind of, cartoonish kind of style of graphics, it's a pretty fun and addictive game. It's quite a good element of, creativity with all the, kind of weapon crafting, and you find a lot of players will like this game because it gives the player the ability to create a gun that they like, rather than giving people guns that they have to choose from. You have a look at Call of Duty and Halo, you have to choose from guns that are already made. Now, these guns are usually good anyway, but this game gives you the ability to customize guns to whatever you want, which gives the player the huge ability to, give them that flexibility in the game, which is really good. So overall, I think it's a pretty good game. It stands out really well, and it's got a really unique sense of I'm going to leave this game because I'm going to end this recording, but it's got a really unique sense of kind of creativity and how this game's presented. For a third-person shooter, it presents itself really well. The controls are quite simple. It's quite balanced. You'll find that a lot of guns, you have a rocket launcher. They're really powerful, but they're also long. You've got a sniper rifle, which you make with using the rifle class, but that's also got a slow reload. You can make, very powerful shotguns, but again, you've got slow reload. You can make, very powerful guns that shoot a little fast, but they don't do much damage, and, the game balances itself out really well, meaning that, even no matter what kind of weapon you make, it's still going to be a counterbalance by another kind of weapon, which makes it a very even gameplay, which I think is fantastic to have such a game where you've got such a wide variety of weapons, yet they all balance each other out, which is amazing. That's very impressive for a games company to do. So this game is in open beta, or closed beta, but you can buy into it for $20. I was fortunate enough to get it before, applied for it before I have to pay any money, but still, it's still worth $20. It's a really good game, and you'll find it's very addictive in gameplay. And you just want to keep coming back, because you want to keep coming back and try and change different weapons and see how different weapons change, and how you might get better result. So, in terms of score, I'm going to give this game an 8.5 out of 10, because even though it's still in beta and there is, a couple of bugs here and there, the game is quite balanced. There's nothing really to complain about. There's not really an overpowered gun, but people do tend to use more sniper rifles, shotguns, and rockets because they've got more damage. Because people find that they rather have the damage than the reload issue, so, which means you got to be accurate, but you can take someone out pretty fast. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Art style is good, the gameplay is good, and it's a whole new creative side on how your third-person shooters are made and how weapon crafting is made, and they've done a perfect job of this game, and I think they deserve the score. So it's an excellent game. Hope you guys buy it. Loadout is clearly one of the stands out this year, and hopefully it does go free to play, but you can buy it for $20, but I think it's worth every cent. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.